Tottenham host United and rumours won't go away about Christian Eriksen's departure, we ask the question, who's more important to the North Londoners? Is it Harry Kane or the Great Dane? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will face his biggest test yet as the Man United manager. Can he make it 6 wins from 6? And Leicester are 7th in the league after just beating the champions and Chelsea. So why is Claude Puel's job still under scrutiny? We discuss this and much more in part 3. And it's all coming up on Premier League Today. Yes, welcome along to Premier League Today. Good to have you with us. It's great also to have Tim Sherwood alongside me in the studio. We've got a packed show ahead of us. We're going to talk about Tottenham against Man United and plenty more besides. Don't forget, you can get in touch with us as well on Twitter using the hashtag PLToday. Any questions you've got for myself or Tim, and specifically on the transfer window as well. Of course, that's open right now. We will talk, as I say, about Tottenham, Man United. But first, let's talk about the League Cup semi-finals that have happened this week. Tottenham did play Chelsea, just narrowly edged it at Wembley, and Man City demolished Burton 9-0 in the semi-final of a League Cup.
Yeah, I feel...
You're a Tottenham fan. What is it? Is it winning a cup or is it the top 4?
I say that they've had some great days in the Champions League, and the Tottenham fans, and especially the hierarchy there, Daniel Levy especially, would say the top 4 is the priority.
And moving into the new stadium, of course, next season makes a difference.
Absolutely. To play Champions League in that fantastic new stadium is paramount importance for Tottenham Football Club. If you're a player, and I'm a player at Tottenham Hotspurs, you're going to need to start winning something. And they need to start very, very soon to keep them players up. You know what it's like as a player. These boys all over the Premier League now are all going to be rich players. How many medals have you got at the end of your career? It's not about when your grandchildren ask you, what did you actually win? You say, well, no, we finished 4th, 7 years on the run. Counts for nothing. Go and walk up them steps and lift the trophy. And the Carabao Cup is a trophy. It's the easiest one for them to win, especially in the semi-final now. I know they have to play Man City in the final if they get through the Chelsea tie, but go and win a trophy. Well, if it's not the Carabao Cup, go and win the FA Cup. They've got a squad now, Matt, capable of going at it at all fronts.
No, I get that, but winning a League Cup, all due respect, isn't going to keep Eriksen at the club. It's not going to keep Harry Kane at the club, is it? Champions League games against Barcelona, against Real Madrid, they're the sort of games, aren't they, that are going to keep those players at Spurs? Yeah,
but they could go and, if they could leave the club, they can go and leave the club to go to other Champions League clubs as well, who are also going to win cups.
So from Tottenham's point of view, you want to get into the top 4 because you need to win Champions League football.
Of course, if you need to, without doubt. I mean, if you ask me, if I was a player, I'd want to win things. So if say they turned up, they played a very strong team. Yeah. It was quite evident the other night they tried to win that competition against Chelsea. They went flat out to try and win it. That's their strongest team they could possibly put out the other night, apart from Lloris. Kazanagi in for Lloris. Other than that, they've gone to try and win that cup, and I think they're absolutely right to go and do that.
So they did get the win, and they've got the second leg to look forward to, but they've also got Man United coming to Wembley this weekend. Fantastic game in prospect. We'll talk about Man United in the next part. Let's talk about Tottenham first. And we teed it up in the menu. Who's the most important player at Tottenham Hotspur?
I think on the basis of what we've seen this season, Christian Eriksen has been of paramount importance for Tottenham. He makes them tick. He makes them tick in possession, and out of possession he triggers the press. The distance what he covers around the pitch at high intensity is second to none. Obviously, Harry Kane's important because he's the man who puts the ball in the back of the net. But you take Christian Eriksen out of this team, it is not the same Tottenham Hotspur. You take you take Harry Kane out of this team, it's not the same Tottenham Hotspur. These two guys are, I think they're equally important. But if I had to pick one at the moment, on what I've seen this season, I would say Christian Eriksen.
OK, I'll go for Harry Kane. Let's talk about Eriksen first. Rumours won't go away about him because he's only got, I think, 18 months left on his contract. Yeah. There's rumours about a £100 million bid from Spain, Real Madrid. Is that going to happen, do you think? Would you be worried if you were a Spurs fan that he might leave the club?
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly would be worried. Yeah, I think that he hasn't got too much longer on his contract. Daniel Levy would be trying to extend his contract.
Well, the value's coming down all the time now, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, he's trying to protect his interest by giving him a couple of extra years, or maybe 3 or 4 years. Still a young man, 26 years of age. He's no age. He's in his prime at the moment. He could play anywhere in the world, Matt. Let's not get it, not a mistake. You play for Real Madrid, Barcelona, anywhere you want to play, anywhere in the world, he will be a top player and he'll be a starter in their side. Now, if I'm a Tottenham fan, I'll be very, very worried about his contract situation at the moment and the fact that this team haven't yet won anything. And that would be important. If they went on to win the Premier League this season, then I can see him staying.
Yeah.
If they won the Premier League, could I see him staying at the football club? I think it's a major worry for Tottenham.
Interesting. You touched on his work rate there. We'll talk about that shortly. But first, let's have a look at what we do know about Christian Eriksen and how good a player he is, and that's his stuff going forward, which is pretty good. Goals and assists. This is at Spurs in a short space of time, really, isn't it? Look, he's 45 goals and 55 assists at Spurs. 100 goals combined. That's pretty good, isn't it?
He's so clever. He's such an intelligent footballer. He can play anywhere across that midfield area, or he could play advanced off the left side, kind of coming in on his right side. But he's two-footed. But he's got great knowledge and great appreciation of others around him. He's such a clever player. For me, he's a number 8. I think he can play up and down the field. His energy is overlooked quite a lot. I mean, I say to people, forget what he does on the ball. That's quite obvious. To the person, the untrained eye, I understand. They can see that he's an elegant footballer and he affects the game. He scores goals and he passes. But what you don't see, and what you only see when you work with the guy, is his energy and his commitment to the team and to the cause is unbelievable.
We'll come back to that. Let's have a look at the stuff that you said is pretty easy on the eye.
This is stability in the tight areas is great. That way to pass. It's second nature to him. He just feels it in. Now he's coming in a number 6 role, a very deep role. Pings that one through. He knows he has to get it to Dele Alli very quickly.
What would you describe his position as then? What is he? If you're talking a number on the pitch,
he's just a clever footballer. I think his best position is 8. But you can't. I think if you restrict him to a defensive role, then you're taking away what he can do in the final third, which is create. If you give him this sort of time, he would just do that.
You can't give him that.
He will do that all day long, every day. He is just a fantastic pass. Chance, let it fall to this man. Look at his technique. His technique is outstanding. Does he third man intensity? He smells it. He knows it. He's been there. He's played loads of games.
But look at that touch.
Look at that touch.
The way he
that
shifts
extra touch opens it up, and he knows he can just roll it through the defender's leg and gives the goalkeeper no chance. But it just happened for Christian. He works hard at it. You cannot get him off the training field instantly. But he's a great example. Gylfi Sigurdsson, who was with him when I was at Tottenham, you could not get him off as well. And it's infectious. So who's the next person to go out there? Harry Kane. Harry Kane was in the middle of both of them, and he's just learning from these guys. And they're still young guys themselves. Does
Christian Eriksen come into the conversation when we're talking about players of the season in the Premier League this year? I think Virgil van Dijk probably would be favourite right now.
Yes.
But he comes into the conversation.
I think Virgil's made such an impact on that team and changed their fortunes around because he's given that solidity at the back. But I think Christian Eriksen, for me, has just stepped it up another level. Can he go again? People used to point their finger at him and say he can't do it in a big game. He's outstanding. He's outstanding in every game he plays.
Yeah. You talked about his work rate. This is his last 10 matches. It's distance covered. This is match rankings. So we're not just talking about for Spurs players. This is for both the teams, and it's for over the 90 minutes. He's in the top 2 for the last 10 matches of every single player on the pitch. And this is for a ball player. We know how good he is going forward.
Yeah.
So he's doing the dirty stuff as well. He's doing the work rate. He's getting about the pitch.
The only surprise to me that he's second in a few of them. I thought he would be top of all of them.
He's second against Liverpool. I mean, we know that Liverpool are real runners, don't we?
But we're talking about the amount of players who are on that pitch. You know, he does it. It's constant. This is not a surprise. You know, we're not just highlighted a few of them. This is him all of the time. When he comes in after the game, there's nothing left in the tank. 0 left in the tank. He sits in the corner of the dressing room. He's got his head down. His pads are off, his socks are rolled down, takes his boots off, he's shattered. There's nothing left. He gets in the ice bath. I
remember you saying something similar about Luka Modric.
Modric is exactly the same. Exactly the same. People don't give him the credit. We know with the guy or Luka's got and the movement and the head on a swivel, the wing mirrors, and sees people around and creates chances. Doesn't score as many as Christian Eriksen, but the work rate is exactly the same. Interceptions, be the right place at the right time, get round the opposition, get back into shape. He does it all the time, but he is absolutely shattered.
And it's living your life right.
Take his shirt off.
It's living your life right as well, though, isn't it?
Absolutely. We know. Ice bath, straight in there. He goes in there. He's fueled up, gets all the fuel afterwards, eats the correct stuff, gets the fluids down him, goes and speaks to the sports scientist. What time am I in tomorrow? Gets the massage done after, goes straight home, which is key. Gets his sleep. We're not going to see him in a nightclub. like we used to see you.
Complete opposite to Tim Sherwood, I was just about to say, by the way. Man United, the game against Man United... you beat me to it. The game against United was the fourth most of any player in the Premier League this season, over 13 kilometres, 13.2 kilometres it was.
Yeah. And that would be high intensity. You know, we see a lot of plodders.
Yeah.
I mean, I was one myself.
I was a plodder.
You could get around the pitch, but we get around quite slow. Christian changes his place. Quick, slow, quick, slow. That's what he is.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He's high intensity. We're going to show a little bit of it now.
Well, this is it. This is the trick.
Because a lot of people, like I said, the layman wouldn't identify this as him. This is winning tackles and then finding a pass at the end of it. So look, closing down, setting the press, triggers it for the back players. You don't have to push him on ever. Look, he recognises it, goes and makes it. This is ugly stuff. This is dirty stuff. What a lot of footballers don't want to do. But what he is a great example for the young kids. So in the academy, you say, yeah, you can be a good player. They all want to be number 10s in the academy now. But you have to do this work. You have to do the tracking back. You have to put your foot in, do the tackles, and then you have to play it simple.
I was about to say, because you talk about academy players, and when you ask them what position they all say, I'm a number 10.
Number 10.
Because they don't think they have to do the work.
Yeah.
But actually, Christian Eriksen's probably a number 10, really, isn't he?
Yeah. Pigeonhole him. I think he's capable. I think if you said to Christian, you can go and play number 10 and stand up there and affect the opposition, he would do it. But he would feel like he's cheating. He likes to do the graft as well. He likes to do the work rate. He knows it's part and parcel of the team ethic. And he's a team man. He's got very little self-indulgence in him, Christian. It's all about the team and what he does, what he needs to do for the team, which is best to win the football match.
You made a pretty compelling case for him, haven't you?
I know. I hope he don't leave. But
no, but I'm saying as Spurs' most important player, you've made a compelling case for him to be Spurs' most important player.
Yeah.
I think you're hard to look past Harry Kane, simply for his numbers. I mean, he's scored 20 goals plus now in the last 5 seasons. This is his overall record at Spurs.
Yeah.
He's already fourth. 160 goals. He's chasing Jimmy Greaves, 266.
Yeah.
I mean, that must be on his mind, that record of Jimmy Greaves. A bit like Rooney was at Man United. That must be in his thoughts.
No, only every week. Only every week. Listen, Harry's got records in his mind all of the time.
Yeah.
Alan Shearer used to say, it's not about me, it's about the team. It's about them first.
Well, he'll be worried.
And it's I'm talking about it in a nice possible way. Harry be thinking, if I score goals, I'm helping the team anyway. Alan used to be the same. If I score goals, I'm going to help the team out. And that's what they do. And he's unselfish the way he plays now as well.
Alan must be worried that he'll get close to him in the Premier League.
No, there's only one. There's only one person who can get ever close to Alan Shearer, and that's him.
Because he's at an age where he's still...
Yeah. But the worry is, I think he stays... I'd love to see him stay at Tottenham for all of his career, because he's a London boy. Tottenham's his club.
And I get the feeling that he'd be the last Spurs player to want to jump ship.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes or not?
Absolutely. I mean, he loves that club. You cut him in half, he'll bleed the colour of the football club. He loves it. And he will try and encourage the likes of Eriksen to be staying at the football club. We're not suggesting any of them are going to leave. But Harry will be the one trying to persuade them to stay. And if one or two, if Eriksen was to leave, and we just talked about what a hole that would leave, then he would have to consider, where are we going with this? Yes, I love Tottenham. And yes, I want to break Jimmy Greaves' record, but I also want to win things. And by selling our best players, are we actually trying to achieve that? You'd have to put a question mark.
The fact that he's so close to just born within 10 miles of the club, do you think he would go to another Premier League club, or do you think it'd have to be abroad?
I think abroad, yeah. I think the only way anyone could ever take him away from Tottenham if it was another white shirt in Real Madrid. And that's not out of the realms of possibility, is it? I mean, that's quite realistic with the numbers which he's achieving over the last 3 or 4 years.
It would be some money, though, wouldn't it, to try and prize him away? It'd have to be a huge offer, wouldn't it? This is one game of his. This is against Everton.
Who got the ball.
Yeah.
He's not ball watching. He's not nicking a rest. He's actually moving and thinking, if we win it back here, OK, it goes somewhere else. All right, if I can win it back here. He's always giving them a question.
And in this position, and we've seen it a lot this season, where he's come deep, I'm thinking perhaps he's going to come into here. You watch him, we'll play it on slowly, and he has a little look as to see what's around him. There he is. He has a little glance now.
Yeah.
Has anyone else made that run?
Yeah.
So no one else is up with him, really. Son's too far away to make that run. So he thinks to himself, do you know what? I won't come short. I'll get myself on the shoulder. I'll try and get him behind. It's a fabulous ball, and he gets in between the two centre halves.
Yeah. But that's what he does. But normally we see that from right to left. Alderweireld sometimes picks up that ball and hits a diagonal run where someone's running from beyond, normally Dele Alli. And then Harry would come short.
Yeah.
So his appreciation of others around him, long, I'm going to come into the little pocket.
Yeah.
He can play number 10 as well as number 9. For me, he's a 9.5. That is why I always labelled him as.
A 9.5.
As a kid, he was a 10. He used to always want to come off. We used to try and encourage him.
Sheringham,
He's a mix between Teddy Sheringham and Alan Shearer. He's a mould of them both, which is a fantastic compliment.
Wow, there's some player, isn't it? This is something you loved.
Yeah.
We'll play it on a couple of runs. So he's made one run, he goes offside, and then he gets him back onside. But I think in this, he never takes his eyes off the ball.
And it's a great example for kids because you never know when that ball's going to come.
Let's take it back and show it again because it is so good.
If you just look, if the kids out there watching, just look at his body shape. He never, ever takes his eye off the ball and he just opens up his shoulders. It's just wonderful movement. Les Ferdinand used to work with him with movement, just keeping yourself open to the play.
And now he's in the space.
Yeah, and he's unfortunate he doesn't get this one through. But if he does and he's taking it into his stride, he hasn't got a body shape problem. Look, he's open all of the time.
He's always thinking about how I can score a goal as well, isn't he? I mean, this sort of position now, you're thinking, do you know what? He's going to slip this in here, isn't he? He's going to try and slip that in, but it's Harry Kane. Yeah. You shoot from
across the goalkeeper, and then he bends it.
It's Wolves.
See the timing of his hit. The timing is it. He knows that the goalkeeper's being unsighted by the run, and he tries to bend it round. Left foot, right foot, for him and Eriksen, doesn't matter. Sides.
This is an out-and-out goal scorer for me.
Yeah, this is anticipation.
Knows exactly where the ball's going to end up. And, I'll mark this guy out here in midfield. Everton, watch his reaction. Kane's reaction, boom.
And it's still concentration on the finish.
Yeah.
He knows that's not the hard work done. The hard work is putting the ball in the net.
This is what we've seen. This is, for me, what I've seen more this season. You're talking about him, what he used to be, a number 10, and dropping deep.
See here, Matt, he knows there's a runner. He can see it. He scanned it. He scanned the pitch. Just say, drop it there. Just drop it there, and exactly what they do is drop it. He knows he's making that run forward.
He's not even looked yet.
And he's just going to give him this dead weight. Perfect pass. Exactly, he doesn't break stride.
Good starting position for the keeper.
Fantastic for the goalkeeper, and we haven't said that a lot this year from
And then this finish as well. He's never marked again, is he? We'll take it back slightly. You think he's in an offside position, really, isn't he?
Well, he knows. I think it's Zuma there. Is Zuma? Yeah, I think it's Zuma there. He knows he's never ever going to get in front of him, but he's never going to go too far ahead where he's going to put himself in an offside position. Opens up his body. Wonderful finish. Wonderful finish. But it's not mindless running where he puts himself in an offside position where Son's going to roll it in and he's going to be caught offside. He knows he's going to keep Zuma and ask for that ball into that little channel, and he just finishes it brilliantly.
So you're saying 9.5, and you think he's a mix between Teddy and Alan Shearer?
I do.
Wow.
I do. I just think he can. Teddy could never run beyond like Harry Kane can.
He's not quick, Harry. You wouldn't call him quick.
He's a strong runner. He's a Shearer runner.
Right.
When Shearer first come to Blackburn, when we played there, he used to run into channels, used to knock people into the stand, used to run away from people. If they stood on the line there, we stand on that line and we say have a race there, Harry would be one of the back. If you put a ball there and we say we race to the ball, no one beats him. He's got his hands across your eyes, his fingers in your eyes, elbow in your nose.
Do you think he comes a little bit deper than Alan Shearer then?
I think he does.
And links the play more?
I think he does, a bit like Teddy Sheringham does. But he does it if he's got runners beyond. That's why he loves playing with the likes of the intelligent players like Christian Eriksen's and the Dele Allis, because Dele Alli likes to run without the ball that way. So Harry comes off on a half turn. He knows the centre halves are occupied there by the defenders, and he just slides the ball in. And his weight of pass and appreciation of pass, he passes the ball, just same as Christian Eriksen, passes the ball to his teammates the way he wants to receive it.
So we're asking who Spurs' most important player is. You're saying Eriksen, just. I'm saying Harry Kane, just. I asked the boss, actually, who's a Spurs fan, and he said Son, because they're going to miss him now for the next month or so. And he's been in such good form, hasn't he? Outstanding.
I think Maurizio has tried to wring every last drop out of him before he goes away. He's not going to miss too many games. But with this title race so tight, the 1 or 2 games could make a massive difference. I think they've got strength in depth now. I think they've got lights of Moura,
who can come in.
Eric Lamela, who's come in and scored goals early on in the season. Every team misses important players at important stages of This is a real. Unfortunately, it's unavoidable. But
they've let him miss the group stages, so he's going later, which means he plays the
negotiated a late
game.
turn up for the competition, but it's still a major blow with how well he's playing. It's no coincidence how well he's playing in a rhythm. Every single week Maurizio's playing him because he knows he's going to lose him. Will it have a disruptive effect on their season? Possibly. If we're going to look for a common denominator at the end of it, let's hope we're not talking about Son going missing to play for his national side. Let's hope that the others come in and do it. That's why you have big squads.
An infectious personality as well, isn't he? Someone that the players enjoy playing with as well. You talk about a real team player. Eriksen's a team player. Son's a real team player, isn't he?
Well, it seems to be the repeating thing for Tottenham. He doesn't suffer anyone who just wants to play for themselves, Maurizio. He wants these team players. He wants the togetherness in the squad. And they all look at each other and they know they're all putting a shift in. Different shifts, but this guy has got a bit of everything. But his goals, what he scores.
Potentially the most improved player in the Premier League over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah,
who else springs to mind? Sterling, I think, the last couple of years has really gone up a level, hasn't he?
But it's just an example. I mean, he's played a lot of football matches, certainly in Germany, and I think it's just an example out to guys out there and certainly kids looking that you can always improve. You don't think because you go into a first team at a big club that you've cracked it. You can always continue to improve. And the likes of him and Raheem Sterling under Pep Guardiola are an example of keep trying to get better. And Son's been outstanding. And this is going to be his last game before we see him meet up with the national side. Pretty
much guaranteed to start. Let's talk about the Tottenham team then. Try and pick the Tottenham team. Yeah. This is what we think might happen. The only potential change that I can see is Rose maybe coming in for Davis at left back. Yeah. What about you?
Well, for me, it would be Danny Rose. I think Davis has done a fantastic job for Tottenham. He's been a good player, and Danny's been injured, and he's come in and been outstanding. But for me, if you're looking for a cup final game, and I think they've got to take all of these games as cup finals now. I think Danny Rose, for me, would play.
And the diamond midfield? Do you think it'd be the diamond midfield?
Sissoko has just forced his way in, hasn't he? He was the laughing stock of Tottenham fans, and unnecessarily. I think he was playing out here on the right-hand side a little bit. It was uncomfortable because he felt like he had to do the tricks. When they played him a little bit more central now and using Trippier to give him the width, I think he's so comfortable, and he has improved tenfold. He's been outstanding. He's been
that energy.
The energy of the up and down energy, and realising that he has limitations and just stick to your limitations. It's easy when you've got players with the ability of Son and Dele Alli and Christian Eriksen. Win the ball, do what you're good at, Moussa Sissoko, and give it to these guys to run and go. I think Sissoko is great at what he does. He's got great energy.
Do you anticipate the diamond midfield though, rather than saying potentially a two? These two. Eriksen left, maybe Son, or possibly, or do you think
they can? I think they can be very flexible because they're all quite fluid. And like we keep reoccurring thing is the intelligence of all these guys. They all know the intelligence of it, and they keep the balance.
That rotation of Kane
coming deep,
is
good, and they always keep the nice balance in and out of possession. So they won't be worried about Tottenham, about Manchester United. They will just play their way. Maurizio always has an identity of how his teams play. They've been outstanding this season, and they will just. It doesn't matter if that was Man City or Leicester or Crystal Palace, whoever it is, they will play the same way, Tottenham. So there's no excuse for Manchester United. They know what to expect. The only thing is, this is a very, very good team.
Yep. No, it certainly is a very good team. Right, time for a break. We've spoken Spurs. When we come back, we're talking Man United, and in particular, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 5 from 5 so far, but faces his biggest test this weekend against Spurs. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Premier League Today, myself and Tim Sherwood. Don't forget to get in touch with us at the back end of the show. We'll do our best to answer as many of your questions as possible. Get in touch on Twitter using the hashtag PL Today. In today's questions, we want them about the January transfer window, which, of course, is open. We're in the middle of talking Spurs against Man United on Sunday this weekend at Wembley. We've spoken Spurs. Time now to talk about Man United. Tim, let's have a look at the league table first. And look, United still in 6th position, but all of a sudden they've got themselves back in that fight, haven't they, for Champions League football? Only 6 points now behind Chelsea. It looks a distant dream, really.
I mean, it's been a massive transformation. I said a couple of weeks back when Mourinho left that it was a dream job for Ole. It was a no-pressure job for him. It was probably one of the easiest jobs in football.
You said that when he got it, yeah.
To follow Jose in, and possibly he could win the first 5 matches. He's done that.
Yeah.
We said the acid test would come in January the 13th against Tottenham at Wembley, and here we are. But fantastic. He can't do any more than he's done. It's good to be on here talking positively about Manchester United and the feel-good factor at the football club, because for far too long we're talking about a negative cloud over that club.
You mentioned the 5 wins that he's had. Let's have a look at the results. These are the last 5 under Mourinho, and these are the results under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, look, if you look at the games, it's a good run of fixtures, isn't it?
Yeah.
On paper.
But there's fixtures there Man United should have won under Mourinho, which they didn't. So, yes, he's had a great run of fixtures. You couldn't have handpicked them possibly, but he's had to go in there and implement his style and take the shackles off the guys and give them that confidence to go ahead and win the likes of 5-1, 4-1, 3-1. You know, this is Premier League opposition.
16 goals in 5 games.
You know, so you still have to get the job done, Matt. So you have to give Ollie a lot of credit. He's done nothing wrong at the moment, has he? No,
he's doing everything he possibly can right. Going forward as well, as I say, 16 goals in those 5. And I think probably one of the best examples really is Paul Pogba, because everyone under Mourinho, what's his best position? Is he shackled? Is he not doing enough going forward? He's released that, hasn't he? He's playing him in a number 10 position and he's enjoying it, isn't he?
Yeah, we give Paul a load of now.
I was about to say, we didn't see that really. We didn't see that strong running from midfield, which we know he's capable of.
Yeah,
How many times did he get beyond the striker?
I mean, it's important that people, when we watch these clips, the amount of forward runs we get, not only from Paul under Jose Mourinho, and the forward passing and the actual risking the football and not being afraid to give the ball away. And this is Paul Pogba at his best. He's almost unstoppable when he makes these sort of runs with his pace and his power and his ability as well. I mean, look, he just stretches it. It didn't work out that time. He gets the next one. He's just a fantastic footballer when he's applying himself like this.
And keeping it simple as well.
Yeah, but he knows he's going to get himself to areas. We've seen him when he's chipped in with a lot of goals this season, but he's just tracking back here. He knows when to play simple and when to burst. This
is it again, isn't it? Again, look at that. He recognised the centre midfielder, well, number 10 really, but that burst.
Listen, I'll just put yourself, or I put myself in that position, trying to mark him in that midfield area there. He's just unstoppable. When he wants to turn his pace round, this is him working back the way. That is great. That's what we didn't see under Mourinho.
Yeah.
Now he's using the ball. Look at that pass. It's fantastic. I mean, he's got everything, Paul.
Yeah.
And I hear people saying
we've just talked about Christian Eriksen.
Yeah.
Who can do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Paul Pogba's the same.
The two is Christian Eriksen would do it under any manager. He would have done it under Jose Mourinho.
Tim Sherwood, he might have done it under Tim Sherwood.
Yeah, maybe. He wouldn't have needed the babysitting. He wouldn't have needed the cuddle so much. But Paul needs that. But it's up to the manager to get the best out of your individual players. And Ollie is getting the best out of Paul Pogba.
And he's doing a lot of it, 1 and 2 touch as well. You know, before he'd have to have
too many touches,
5, 6, 7 touches.
That could be whether it's Paul thinking he needs to do it or what's there. The landscape. He might say, well, the players are there in front at the moment. He doesn't have to take too many touches because he's got players advanced of him where he can just roll the ball to him and then get on his bike and start bursting into the box, which is what I think is the best attribute he has.
Yeah.
It's unstoppable because of the size of him. He's bursting into the box, getting them crosses in, and the size of the guy is 6'4", and he's attacking everything with his life.
He should score more goals, really, shouldn't he?
He will. I think he will continue to score goals. I mean, he should be in the Dele Alli mould, you know, of scoring goals and a guy at the past Frank Lampard. I mean, he's got all the ability to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But when he bursts forward and he gets the heading ability is unbelievable. But he's look at strikes. He just uses the defenders to disguise. But this is what I like. The change of pace when he recognises when he can. Look, there's a great skill from Rashford, and then now he sees it. Now he changes the pace. You can't stop it. Great long leg, just touch it into the back of the net. He's enjoying his football, but they're all enjoying it now. We're seeing Man United players with a smile on their face, which we never saw. Well, misses out that time, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, we're talking about it with a smile on the face, but I think what we're also talking about is a different United in the way they're set up. Look at this now. How many is that there? That's 4, 5, 6 players in that position.
Yeah.
Now, we've covered United a lot this season, and under Mourinho, and we've said a bit negative at times. Yeah. And at times it's been 6 at the back, 4 going forward.
Yeah, but if you hold it there, Matt, I mean, what does that actually do to the opposition?
Well, it's made them
push them back. Of course it does.
Defend.
But under Jose, he would leave defenders back here. So then the opposition side would leave bodies forward. But what they're doing now, Ollie's sending them on the front foot, and he's making the opposition defend with all their numbers, and it just pins them in. It just keeps them in their final third constantly. This is what we used to when we've been brought up on Man United teams playing with width, playing with pace, playing progressively forward. And when they get the ball wide, flooding the box and scoring loads of goals. Yeah. If we score 2, the opposition, Man United always score 3.
Yeah.
You know, that is the way they always see it. They've got a playing identity now, which they didn't have under Jose. Well, they did, but it wasn't the identity like Man United fans and the players are used to.
This is the one you do like.
This, I love it. Love this. The goalkeeper's scared. I mean, he's such a big size. The goalkeeper doesn't even cut. He doesn't want to get hurt. Paul Pogba's coming in, eyes on the ball, just knocks it in. And look at the arrogance we like from the Man United players. I like that. Yeah. I like the arrogance of Paul Pogba. I like the fact that he's lining up now in that tunnel and not even considering the opposition. Their Manchester United players need to have that little touch of arrogance, what he's got.
Yeah. I think another player that's improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
How much would it help him?
Marcus has played a lot of bit part games this season coming off the bench. There was no one better coming off the bench and affected it than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he's read today that he's helping Lukaku out with his movement, this little subtleties, what you can give someone if you've been in the arena.
Yeah.
You can't learn it on a coaching badge, but someone who's been in that arena, top games, at that in that environment, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he can help them. Just little finer detail.
I loved it prior to the Newcastle game, I think it was, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, Rashford's a far better player than me. He said, but I'm a better finisher. He said sometimes he snatches, sometimes he does things too quickly. He said he just needs to pass the ball into the net. That game against Newcastle, what does he do? Gets out of his feet and passes it into the net. Let's have a look at his stats then, compared under Mourinho to Solskjaer. Numbers have gone up in terms of the goals, more assists under Mourinho, more chances created. The big one there is shots, isn't it? Shots, total shots and shots on target, much improved.
Well, when you're being trusted to play down the middle of the pitch, where you consider yourself a number 9, as Marcus Rashford does, and Jose was playing him out on the right, on the left, he didn't know which stick or twist, the kid. Now he's playing number 9. You're my number 9. There's a confidence. Don't worry about Lukaku in the background. I know he's been away on compassionate leave. He's back now. Still give the reins to this boy, because this boy is really showing what his quality is. When you're at the centre of the pitch and you're doing what you do best, and you've done it all your career on youth football, through the reserves, you're going to get more shots. In that centre of the pitch, you're going to get more shots at goal. And at the moment, his confidence is sky high.
Has he taken over Lukaku now? Is he the number 9?
At this current moment in time, he is, yeah. I mean, you have to say what he's done under this manager, and Ole can only judge on what he's seen. I mean, he's been looking from afar, obviously. But when he's looking now, he's have to say Rashford is ahead of Romelu Lukaku.
And yet, Lukaku, £90 million, he was never going to be dropped under Mourinho, really, was he?
You can't, as a manager, I did the same at Tottenham. I can't, when I give Harry Kane an opportunity.
You forget it.
We had Soldado, they bought him for £29 million. It was a lot of money for Tottenham Hotspur. But I don't worry about price tags. I had no worry about reputations and what they've done in other countries or previously. Is what they do on a training pitch every day.
Is that easier when you're an interim manager rather than the permanent manager, or not? Didn't make a difference to you?
No, because I just judged them on a level playing field every single day on the training pitch, and I put on practices where I could judge them against each other. So Harry Kane was out performing Soldado every single day. So in the end, I give him the opportunity to do it. And I think that's what Ole's doing with Marcus Rashford. He knows him anyway, because he's brought up with him,
of course,
he was through the academy.
He worked there, didn't he, I think, with the 23s a long time ago. We asked in the week, we were talking about this in the week, and who's improved, and you said Nemanja Matic is another one that you feel has really made a difference, or really come on under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Well, what's come on is his mindset, and we go not only in Nemanja Matic but the whole team. It's just that he wants to play progressively now, whereas under Mourinho he was always looking to play safe. He was frightened to give the ball away. He was going sideways and backwards. Now when Matic gets it, he's getting it on the back foot and he's looking to play forward. And all of a sudden now he looks like he's got some sort of passing range, which is fantastic. We saw it at Chelsea at one stage when he was at his best. And he's getting the ball now and he's looking to pass it in between the lines into the number 10s. He's got forward runners so he can have someone to hit. Matic is a good player when he's doing this, but I think you have to give credit to the manager for giving them the licence to risk the football and play with the confidence what they're showing at the moment.
Well, let's have a look at him under Jose and perhaps with the shackles on. And what do we say?
He's playing midfield, looks like a centre-back here. But all he's trying to do is just tick that ball. This is under instruction. He's not looking to play forward at all. He's just keeping it safe.
He didn't even really look, did he?
No, he's not exactly. It's not even his intention to play forward. He could have brought that one down, have the composure, have the confidence to express himself. He wasn't doing that. Now you need to get turned on the back foot. There's no one round him. He's not even turned round. He's giving it straight back to Ashley Young.
Pointed back as well.
And in turn, there's 3 or 4 passes, always looking to go back. It's lack of confidence. See, that was like it wasn't even a risk pass. He had no assurance in his play. Going backwards again, it's all negative stuff. I think we're seeing a different Nemanja Matic now, but only because he's given a licence.
Let's have a look at his numbers. This is him in the Premier League this season. This is his most passing to the final third in a single match. Now, 3 of these have come under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah.
The other 2 were Palace, which finished 0-0, and they were sort of chasing to try and win the game. And Newcastle, first time round, when they were 2-0 down, chasing it and won it 3-2. But 3 of them have come under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah. When you're in that position as a number 6, certainly when you've got the forward runners in midfield and from the wide areas that Man United have now under Solskjaer, you're going to be left alone in there. So you're going to get that ball, but there's no point just slowing the play down. Your first look has to be on the back foot and play progressively through. Open up their midfield to play through it. And I think we're going to show some passes what he makes, which are outstanding midfield passes. And this is Nemanja Matic at his best. And now he looks like the value what Man United brought into the football club.
Yeah, let's have a look at him then. This is him.
There he is, left on his own passing range. I mean, that's what he's good at, breaking the game up.
How many times did we see this?
Forward. No, because he would have been worried to get back before he's even made the run forward under Jose. He would have scared him. Off the right side. Off the right side. He knew. He had no slowing the game down, not too many touches. If it's there to pass forward, pass, just slide rule past that. That is a wonderful pass.
It takes 4 players out of the game.
Yeah. If you're playing against that and someone passes the ball past you into the number 10, what he's dangling behind you and you're back of him, gives you a major problem. Now we're seeing what he's worth now, Matic. Forget what we've seen in the past. I think I said it at the time when Jose left. You're going to not recognise some of these Man United players now under Solskjaer because he's going to take the reins off them and he's going to say, let's go. Let's show what we'll... They've been sleeping. For the last year or 18 months, they've been sleeping.
This is a sad
Now
indictment.
it's a chance to show them.
It's a sad indictment, really, on Jose Mourinho's reign, particularly the last 12 months, 18 months, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think there was a negative cloud over the football club all the time. There was so much finger pointing from the board down to Jose up to them, from the players to the manager. Now they're all on the same ship, all singing from the same hymn sheet, and they're all moving forward, and they're getting the results, which makes it a lot easier to accept.
There seems to be a smile on the faces now of everybody, and I'm not just talking about the players, I'm talking about the coaching stuff. Everyone just seems to be enjoying it more, don't they?
Yeah, and the word has, around, the cleaning lady and the girls in the canteen and everyone around the training ground, there's a happier environment.
This is United scoring against Arsenal. You doesn't look particularly happy, would you? They've just scored, United.
I mean, he's just not happy with his lot there, is he? And there's someone who's definitely happy. You've got Kieran McKenna there, you've got Mickey Phelan, you've got Michael Carrick, they're all togetherness. There's a euphoria there at the moment. They're on a massive high and they want to continue that. But Sunday is an acid test for them. This is a different kettle of fish when you're going to Wembley to play a team like Tottenham.
We don't know for sure, but it looks like Michael Carrick's having more of an input. And also, what about bringing Mike Phelan back as well? Was that a masterstroke, do you think?
I think it was. I think it was a masterstroke. Someone who knows the club, well respected from the fans. Had a great deal of success there with Sir Alex Ferguson. So, no, at the moment, he's made all them decisions right. And even the young boy there, Kieran McKenna, who I give a job to of his first chance in coaching at Tottenham, doing the under-16s. He's now went to Man United as an academy coach, stepped up with the first team, and looks like he's having more of an input now as well.
One of the United's Achilles' heels has been set pieces. And actually, it's been the same under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. 3 goals that they've conceded under him have been from set pieces. It's excluding penalties.
Yeah, I think when things are going for things to improve, I think Ollie will be looking at this. He won't be blind to the fact that they're not been great from set pieces. Tottenham score a lot of goals. We're looking at the game on Sunday. You can only look towards your next game. Tottenham need to be very tuned into this. They need to improve because that's not a great record.
No, we haven't. I'm not going to show you them all, but we'll show you some of them. And there's a theme in lots of ways. This is the first one. This is against Brighton. First of all, Paul Pogba. Not really doing his job, switching off, being beaten at the far post.
Yeah.
All right, it gets recycled. Still not really doing anything, is he, Paul Pogba? On his heels.
No. His body shape's all wrong.
Yeah.
See, sometimes it's not about how big you are, just competing in the air. Sometimes you can be the smallest player on the pitch, but you're streetwise enough.
This is against Spurs.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant header. And you got some quality delivery.
That's Phil Jones.
Trippier took that one. This time, it's Phil Jones. What I would say, and look, it wasn't his man that scored, Paul Pogba, but look at the gap between him and his man.
Yeah.
Look at everyone else. Almost touch tight.
Yeah.
They're doing their job defensively, making sure they're tight. OK, Phil Jones tight, and Harry Kane does beat him. He gets just that little yard, drops off. Harry Kane, it's a brilliant header. This is against Chelsea. Again, Paul Pogba switches off. Rudiger gets ahead of him. This is it again. So a bit like the Spurs one.
Yeah.
Locked on, locked on, locked on, locked on. Gap.
If you wait here, Matt, he leaves himself wide open to get a block off David Lewis. Little nudge, but he gets the nudge, and it's enough for Rudiger to free himself up. But Paul Pogba had to get himself in a better position, not to get blocked off. So he has to get tied to the Rudiger and not let him have a run on.
He's a big man, Paul Pogba.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, does it?
But that's probably, I was about to say, that's probably one of the reasons why he's one of the markers.
Yeah.
If you're looking around, who's he got marking? So he's got Matic, Smalling, Lindelof, Pogba. Actually,
on the evidence of what we've seen, and Ollie would have seen the goals previously when they've conceded, his best position should be there where Lukaku is, in that space, because at the moment he's not responsible enough and cannot be trusted to do that job. Now, this, from a manager's point of view, this is not something you need to tell Paul Pogba in front of the rest of the squad and embarrass him. You need to pull him.
Which is maybe what happened.
You need to pull him, and you need to be telling him all that stuff we showed earlier. He's good stuff. He's absolutely fantastic. You need to continue with this, Paul. But there is an Achilles heel at the moment, and you need to get better at this. So don't lay him away with it, but there's a way of telling him.
So you think that perhaps the previous manager
possibly
maybe didn't do that. He knows he's upset. He's upset with himself. Another free header. OK, mistake by the goalkeeper.
Which we don't see a lot.
Which you don't see too often, but again, we'll highlight it. No Paul Pogba in this game. Everyone is touch tight. Smalling just gets...
Gets bullied there. He gets
bullied. Yeah. And there's a mistake by the goalkeeper.
He's allowed one in 4 seasons. De Gea.
He's allowed one in 4 seasons. This is, again, mark him.
Yeah.
Doesn't do his job, loses the header. And we've just seen him in the opposition box.
Yeah.
How much of a threat he is in the air.
Yeah.
He can do it.
He can do it, but there's 2 centre-halves, Lindelof and Jones there. Mark Pogba, who's not fantastic at this. Like you quite rightly say, when he's attacking the goal, he's a different animal. When he looks to defend it, there's something...
There's got to be a desperation to go and head
We talked about 2 boys earlier, Christian Eriksen and Harry Kane, and talking about wanting to work at the game.
Now, we saw a previous set piece, and we saw Ashley Young, spare man. Now he's marking.
Yeah. Ander
Herrera was a spare man. He's now marking. Now, they're not the biggest, Ashley Young and Herrera. Paul Pogba's actually, 3, 4, 5 inches taller than those two, isn't he?
Yeah.
But here he is, on his own. Now he's got, as you said, that Lukaku job.
Yeah. Well, this at the moment, because he hasn't improved and he's still... It's his frailty. He needs to stay in this area, but he needs to go and attack the ball. But this is clever from Bournemouth. After we give him a lot of credit, you see the likes of Brooks coming off into this area. This is a very, very good set-piece goal, but still need to be switched onto it, Manchester United. Ollie said after the game, he saw it happening from the side. They need to identify it on the pitch. That's what leaders are all about.
Yeah.
And that's why the likes of Paul Pogba, we know what he can do in possession. We know he's got frailties out of possession, but he can help improving others to be the leader of Manchester United Football Club. And at the moment, he hasn't taken on that mantle.
Well, just going back onto the smaller men marking, earlier on today, you were saying to me about Wilson Palacios did something similar because he was good at that.
He's the best at it. Because
and yet he's not big, is he?
He was so streetwise, played a number of games. at men's football at a very early age, and he wasn't prepared to get bullied. It wasn't about the size differential. It was about getting his body in the right place, stopping you from having a run at goal. And he knew how to do it, and he was cute, and he could get away with it. There was never, ever a gap like this.
No.
He was always on top of someone, you know, he's right in there, muscling them at the right time, knocking them off balance at the right time. It's about being streetwise and smelling it.
Yeah.
And there's something you have to learn in the environment. You cannot learn it on the coaching field.
Yeah. Yeah, as you say, it is it goes short. I think it's Josh King.
Brooks is moving.
It gets blocked off.
And he's got a lot to do there, Matt. He's still got a lot to do, and it's a fantastic ball and goal.
It's actually interesting, isn't it? Because after I think the Newcastle game, they said, it's nice to get a clean sheet. It keeps from open play.
Yeah.
He said...
So he's got his eye on it.
So he knows it. He knows the problem.
It's in the back of his mind.
Three goals they conceded were all from set pieces.
Yeah, it'll be in the back of his mind, but it'll also be in the forefront of Pochettino's mind.
Well, bit of a subplot. You mentioned Pochettino, isn't there? Because there's a lot of talk about Pochettino becoming the United manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's auditioning for it right now. He's doing a pretty good job of it as well, isn't he? But there's always that. There's going to be so much talk about it this week, isn't there?
Yeah, there will be.
Pochettino and
obviously Tottenham's press officer will be fending off any questions regarding Manchester United and the future of Pochettino, and quite rightly so, because he needs to concentrate on what Tottenham are doing.
Yeah, you've been in that position as well, though. You've been in Ole's position as an interim manager, so you know what's going through his mind, don't you?
Yeah, well, he's got a no-lose situation, because all he's got to do, I mean, with respect to Mulder, where his current club is, he's got an opportunity to put himself on a map to get a bit better job than where he currently is in Norway. Or, if a miracle happens at Manchester United, possibly getting a Manchester United job on a long-term basis. At the moment, he can't do any more than what he's doing. Should they give him a job on a long-term basis? I have my doubts. I think that they should still execute.
You had a good record at Spurs and didn't keep your job.
Yeah, I didn't keep my job on the basis that they already identified that Mauricio Pochettino would come into the club in the summer. It wasn't possible to get him out of Southampton, which was his club.
This is him now, on the bench, having a look at you, actually. Yeah, he's thinking, I'll have that job soon.
He was sizing up the jacket. He was like,
was it the gilet?
It was the gilet. Actually, he wears a gilet now, and my lawyers have been in touch because I patterned that. No, it was the correct decision from Tottenham. From the long-term future of that football club, it's a huge football club, but it's not as big a football club as Manchester United. For an institution like Manchester United, they shouldn't give a job on a basis of
the emotions.
10 games, from an ex-legend of the football club. They got to believe, they got to do their research, their due diligence on a manager who's going to take them forward in the long term. And I think, obviously, with the job Pochettino's done at Tottenham and Southampton previously, it puts him right at the head of the queue.
Mm-hmm. What about the team this weekend then? Going away to Spurs. What you don't want to see now, United, after they've had that run of games they've had on the front foot, go to Spurs and say, we'll go on the back foot now, we're going to have to defend. That's not going to be the case, surely, is it?
That would be an absolute disaster for Solskjaer.
We want to see this, don't we? Martial bombing forward, Lingard getting...
Because if he was to do that, it would have been similar to what Jose did a couple of seasons ago at Anfield, where they were going so well in the league, they were rolling everyone over, scoring lots of goals, albeit late in games. And then he went to Anfield and he played Paul Pogba up on his own with no support, and they just got every man behind the ball. And it wasn't good enough. So as a player, we look at each other when the manager decides he's going to change his plans like that, and we say, well, he doesn't trust us to take this team on. At the moment, it's a great opportunity for Manchester United to go to Wembley, beat Tottenham, and put himself right in the frame to get into that top four. And not only that, it enhances the manager, that he knows it's not Man United's way to go on the defensive. Mm-hmm. Ole knows that. For him to do it in this big occasion where the whole world is going to be watching, it will be a disaster for him.
So what do you think is going to happen this week?
He has to go on the front foot.
And do you think United can get a result?
I think they're capable of getting a result. I think Tottenham will need to have an off day.
Yeah.
I think defensively now, Manchester United are still frail.
I agree. I think that's where the game could be won and lost. Yeah. I think Spurs' front four, Eriksen, Kane, Ali, Son, are going to be too strong maybe for United's back.
But Martial and Rashford and Jesse Lingard,
and Pogba,
the way they're playing, and Paul Pogba coming in late can affect this back four also, whether with or without Danny Rose. I think that the game is going to be won in the attacking third. Whatever team takes their chances. So goalkeepers will be crucial as well.
Are we sitting on the fence then? Are we?
I think Tottenham would. Tottenham at the moment
It's like I make them
cannot
favourites.
lose.
I make Tottenham favourites.
I make Tottenham favourites, but Tottenham cannot lose the game. There's more pressure on Tottenham than there is Manchester United. Manchester United can lose this game, and it's just one of those games. OK, Ollie wouldn't want to lose, nor would the players. It would be a massive blow for them. But Tottenham, if they're going to have any aspirations to win the Premier League, they cannot lose this game.
Fascinating game, isn't it? Looking forward to it. Spurs against United. It's at Wembley on Sunday. Right, time for another break. When we come back, we're looking at Leicester City. Claude Puel up against his former club. He's 7th in the league, and yet he's still under pressure. We'll talk about him when we come back.